Are you ready to go 5 pounds down with a low impact cardio walking workout? Me too, let's go. All right, beautiful bees, let's go ahead and get moving and grooving, and that means that we're getting started with some arm circles with high knees. You guys, welcome to the workout. I'm Pahla B, I'm your best middle-aged fitness friend, and around here we are all about making peace with your menopausal body by finding a healthy weight and moving in ways that feel like self-love. And you know what feels like self-love? Finding that healthy weight with the 5-0 method, where every single day we do 5 things that make you say, oh, I had no idea it could be so simple to lose weight at our age. Every single day we eat the right number of calories, which is not necessarily less than you were eating before. Every single day we drink the right amount of water, which is half your body weight in pounds in fluid ounces of water. Every single day we get the right amount of sleep by going to bed at the same time every night, getting up at the same time every morning, and not worrying about how much in between was actual sleep, because sometimes it's not. Let's go ahead and do some arm crossers with booty kickers. Every single day we exercise moderately, which is not necessarily more than you were doing before. And the most important part, the glue that sticks this whole weight loss puzzle together, every single day we manage our minds by finding our thoughts and deciding if they're helpful. Now, the way you know whether or not a thought is helpful is super simple. If it feels bad, it's unhelpful. If it feels good, it's helpful. And here to test that theory out, I have a helpful thought that might not feel helpful at first, the way some of my helpful thoughts go. Have you noticed that with this series this year, that I have lots of helpful thoughts? And some of them, almost all of them in fact, I have mentioned to you that it might not feel helpful the first time you think it. That's completely okay. What we are really working on, much more so than amassing some kind of list of helpful thoughts, even though I do have that for you, but also we're really honing your ability to pay attention to your own body and see whether or not something feels helpful to you. So today's helpful thought is I am always on track. Let's go ahead and do some welcome to my homes. Welcome to Blossom's home. And I think I know that your initial reaction to I am always on track is an absolute, no, I'm not, Paula. Sometimes I am definitely off track. Sometimes I eat out of my calorie range. Sometimes I exercise more or less or whatever. Sometimes I am definitely off track. And here's what I want you to know, a couple of things. First of all, I want you to know that today's workout is so glorious. I've got the handy dandy gym boss set for intervals of 1 minute of walking and 30 seconds of no repeating low impact cardio exercises. This one is just a glorious treat to myself, frankly. So let's go ahead and get started with walking, because I tell you what, you know what? It's December, even though I'm actually filming this in November. But it is that time of year where I am mentally and physically gearing up for the new year. I don't know if you know it, but a lot of people want to lose weight in January. So I am preparing myself to have a fantastic 2023. And as such, I'm kind of busy right now, and I'm also, a regular person in the world who's kind of busy right now. For me, Thanksgiving is coming up, and I'm American, so we celebrate in November. Also, we've got holidays in December. Like, I've got some things going on. So today's workout was really for me to be able to just really enjoy moving my body and not having to think too hard. Hey, speaking of thinking too hard though, our first exercise here, it has a new name, my friend. It is Clackers. It is front kick clappers. Then I don't have to say that carefully anymore. And here we go. We're kicking to the front while clapping to the front. I don't remember exactly the last time we did this exercise. I'm pretty sure it was it October, or was it just last month in November? Whenever it was, I had a conversation about how difficult this exercise is for me to say. You guys had some of the best suggestions. I totally appreciated all of them. And more than one of you came up with the word clackers. And I mean, speaking of how you know it's a helpful thought, let's go back to walking. I read that, I burst out laughing. I was like, well, that's the one. So that was a very helpful thought for me. And thank you if you were one of my friends who came up with the word clackers. You guys. That is such a perfect and funny example of exactly how you know whether or not a thought is helpful. The fact is, you can sit with a thought and you can overanalyze it and overthink it, and then you're actually about 4 or 5 thoughts down the road. The truth of it is, your initial gut reaction, we call it that for a reason. If you feel something in your body immediately, that's how you feel about your thought. So for example, our thought, I'm always on track. I know that some of you have lots of doubts about that. By the way, when it beeps again, we're doing Papa squats. It's where we do a little squiddy squat, not too far down, however it feels comfortable enough for you. We put our hands down, we put our hands up. It's really your hands that are making your heart rate come up. So don't worry about where your butt is, but do make sure that you push your butt back so that your knees aren't coming forward past your toes. Even if it's a little squiddy squat, we want to make sure that we've got excellent form. We're pulling in our core, we're thinking about where your body is in space and time. We're moving at a pace that feels just right for you, which is to say, a pace that you could actually sustain exactly like this sort of intensity every single day for the rest of your life. Does that make some of you want to slow down a little bit? I know. Here's the thing about being on track. Let me backtrack, even though I'm not really on a track to back from. Here's what I'm going to tell you about this particular thought. This is one of those funny things that I have a pet peeve about, and I know that sometimes when I'm talking about something that I have a pet peeve about, it might come out a little bit like I'm ranting, and I wanted to warn you about that first. If it sounds like I'm ranting, I kind of am, because this is something as a fitness trainer that I have heard for, oh my gosh, I've been a fitness trainer for a dozen years now, and I've heard people talk about this, and it is one of the most unhelpful thoughts, and the unhelpful thought is I am off track, that I wish I could, oh, by the way, we're doing upside down jacks. Hands start up, we step out on the other side. Hands are doing jumping jacks. Lower body is just doing a nice big step out. Got your core pulled in nice and tight so that you can really think about where you are moving. This side to side motion, so good for us. You're throwing yourself intentionally off balance in a way that you're in control of, hopefully, so that you're not actually losing your balance, but it's a great way to practice being a little bit off balance. And then here we come back to walking. But I am off track is an unhelpful thought that I wish I could remove from the collective psyche. My friends, I am off track is doing you absolutely no good at all. At all. I mean, for so many reasons, not the least of which, honestly, and you know this, you feel terrible when you think you're either currently off track or you've been off track. It doesn't feel good. And the truth of it is there's no such thing. There is no standard of some kind of track that you are on right now that you can be off of temporarily. Your life is absolutely 100% a monorail. You can't get off of it. It goes one direction, time, space, it moves one way. You are always on track. Now, here's the thing, two things actually. We're doing dancing X's right now, hands wide, feet wide. Reaching your opposite elbow towards your opposite knee. Having your hands up this whole 30 seconds is going to bring your heart rate up. Make sure that you're moving at a pace that feels good to you. I know all the walking in between might have brought your heart rate down. It also might not have. Depends on what you're doing. For walking, you might be hustling from one end of your house to the other. You might be going up and down stairs. That would be so interesting. Do you do that? I'm very curious about that. Do you actually take me all around your house? Let's come back to walking. Let's go wherever you want to go. I'm so curious. I'd love to see your house. But here's the thing about thinking that there is some kind of a track to be on or off. You are subtly, and not really even so subtly, telling yourself that some of your behaviors don't count. And I definitely used air quotes on that, because the truth of it is your body doesn't think about tracks. Your body knows that there is one track. It started at birth and it's going inevitably forward one direction. So your body could care less about your mind thinking that something is on track or off track. When you recognize that everything you are doing is
moving you forward, because forward is the only direction we go, even though I know you could be walking backwards right now. And it beeps again, by the way. We're doing swimming frogs. We're going to have our hands up, elbows out nice and wide, bringing one knee out to the side and then the other knee out to the side. Once again, having those hands up will bring your heart rate up. That's how low impact cardio works. Just because we are not jumping doesn't mean your heart rate doesn't have some variability here. Making sure that you are doing the work that feels best to you, having your core pulled in, thinking about this work, even though you're thinking right now about being on track or off track. You can think about both of those things. That's completely okay. When it beeps again, here we come back to walking. Even though, as I have ranted before, I have no idea what workout that was. I vividly remember having a whole conversation with you about how we don't really go back to walking because the workout only moves forward. The truth of it is we use language like that all the time, and it almost never feels good because we know, I mean, truly, our brains, the way we understand space and time, we know that we can never actually go back. You're not actually getting back to a weight that you were before. You're never actually going back to walking. You are moving forward to a different instance of walking. You are moving forward to a different instance of a number on a scale. You are always moving forward. You are always on track. When it beeps again, by the way, we're doing ding dongs. Hands are going to stay, technically speaking, low. They don't go up over your head, but they get rocking from side to side while we are kicking out one side and the other side. This is my favorite weeble wobble exercise, where we weeble, we wobble, but hopefully we don't fall down. Make sure that you are moving in a way that does not help you fall down. But once again, this intentional throwing ourselves slightly off balance so that we can practice now, my friends. Practicing your balance in small ways like this is the thing that can help you stay on your feet and independent for years to come. Here we come forward to walking. You guys, here's the thing about being on track. Here's the way I like to think about it. I know that when we talk about this like abstract idea of being on track or off track, we really think that the track of our lives should be linear, that it should be a straight line, that success just goes from A to B and it's directly up and there's nothing else that gets in the way. But the truth of it is, the track of your life that you are always on has zigs and zags and like sharp corners and long meandering like passages through the meadows where you are seeing things that you did not anticipate seeing. When it beeps again, by the way, we're doing speed skaters. That's where we are shifting our weight from one foot to the other, basically doing single leg squats, but I don't like to mention that, but I'm going to mention it anyways. Our hands are doing the infinity sign right here in front of us. Once again, oh, do you feel a couple of things? First of all, do you feel that work in your side butt? That, my friends, is excellent for you. That is the thing that can keep you from falling over when we're doing lateral moves like this. Strengthening your inner and outer thighs. First of all, yes, of course it looks good, but most of all, much, much, much better than that, is that most older adults actually fall from some kind of a lateral motion. We walk forward. We're on track. Here we come to walking. We walk forward almost all the time. We occasionally, like step backwards a couple of steps. We don't really do a lot of lateral side-to-side motions, and that is where we all tend to be much more vulnerable. Practicing this lateral motion the way we do, practicing standing on one foot, practicing strengthening your balance on one foot, my friends, it is one of the nicest gifts that I can give you. You guys, when it beeps again. Speaking of standing on one foot, it's what we do a lot of. Have you noticed? With our low impact cardio, we're going to be doing middle skips. It's one elbow coming up with the opposite knee at the same time, as though we are skipping. You are welcome to, if you'd like to. Really depends on what you want to do for your workout. You are always welcome to modify in a way that makes the workout harder. I know I always mention that you can modify to make the workout quote unquote easier. Here we go with middle skips, that you can make it work for you depending on where your mobility is, where your strength is, where your stamina is, where you are with your fitness. That also means technically speaking, even though I rarely actually encourage it, it means you could make this harder. You could jump if you want to. You could run during the walking intervals. You, my friends, can always make the workout work for you. Here's what I'm going to tell you though. Making sure that the workout actually is working for you, here we come to walking, making sure that the workout actually is working for you is the thing that you personally want to pay attention to. You might love the way the workout feels in the moment. This is something that happens to me all the time. That's why I'm co-conspiratoring with you this year, like just kind of whispering in your ear. You might love the way it feels when you work out nice and hard, when you get a good sweat, when you feel the burn, when it feels like you really got it done. And then your body has some information for you later in the form of being sore, not really having energy for the rest of your day, not feeling amazing, maybe some, not really injuries, but not really not injuries. My friend, that information means the workout didn't work for you. You might also notice that you are not losing weight. That means the workout didn't work for you, and it doesn't mean you need to work harder. When it beeps again, we're doing kick jacks. That means your hands are doing jumping jacks, and 1 foot at a time is going to kick forward because, oh my gosh, can you imagine both feet kicking forward at the same time? I don't even know what that would be. You guys, the harder you work, the harder it is to lose weight. You are capable of losing weight without exercising at all. Exercise is not, by any stretch, the main driver of weight loss. In fact, of the 5 things that we do, if I were to rank them in order, I would say mindset is number 1, paying attention to what you're thinking. If you truly do not believe you can lose weight, think that you are not losing weight, here we come to walking. Think that weight loss is only for younger women because now that you're in menopause, you can't possibly. Mindset's number 1. Then consistency with your calories, eating the right number of calories, which is not to say that you are just eating less or you're restricting or you're eating healthy food. You're eating the right number of calories for your body. Your body needs fuel in order to do all of its processes, and one of the processes that it will do efficiently is lose weight if you're eating enough. Then I'm going to say water and sleep are basically on the same level, truly. My anecdotal evidence is that both of them show up on the scale when I am like low on either one of them. They don't necessarily speed up weight loss if I'm doing them right, but they definitely slow them down if I'm not hitting my targets. When it beeps again, by the way, we're doing washing machines. Elbows are going to be about shoulder height. We're twisting your torso, your upper body, while we are twisting your lower body the opposite direction and tapping 1 foot out in front of you the opposite way that your shoulders are twisting. Oh my goodness, it's like a double twist right here in the middle. We are the agitator. I don't think, not very many of us have washing machines that still work like that anymore, do we? I have one, but it doesn't have the spines in it the way washing machines did when I was younger. And I sometimes wonder if my clothes are getting as clean. I think washing machines need this kind of agitation. I think they really deserve it. Let's come to walking again, my friend. Here's the thing. Exercise is fantastic for your health. Beautiful for your health. Very, very, very good for you. Does not drive weight loss. Does not automatically put your body in some kind of magical, mythical, fat-burning zone where it's the land of rainbows and daisies and everything works out for you. No, exercise does wonderful things for your heart and lungs, does wonderful things for your muscles, helps your body do things efficiently, and one of the things that your body might do efficiently is burn fat to lose weight, but not necessarily because of exercise. So coming up next, we're gonna do chicken wing high knees, and I really had to think about this. Your hands are gonna be underneath your chin. Your elbows are gonna flap like chicken wings. We're gonna bring up one high knee at a time. This is one of the most awkward exercises that we do. I totally love this one just because it feels so awkward. I literally feel like a chicken when I'm doing this one, and it makes me laugh every time. Did I mention? I didn't. I know I didn't. We're not repeating any of these exercises today, other than the walking, of course, because we do keep coming to walking again and again. But the rest of them, oh my gosh, if you don't like them, if they do feel awkward for you, we're not coming back to this. And in fact, oh my goodness, we only have a couple more left because we have already had such a great workout. Now coming to walking again. My friends, your track might not look anything like you thought it was going to or like you wish it would, but it is your beautiful, unique, personal track. And you are always, always on it. When you tell yourself that some of your behaviors don't count or don't make a difference or were an anomaly, one of the things that you are subtly doing is not taking responsibility for your track. And this is not to like tell you that's a terrible thing. It's not, it's what we all do. But having said that, when you do take responsibility, when you do think of this as your track, it brings you so much more power to be making decisions. Here comes toy soldiers, hands up, reaching your opposite hand towards your opposite kicking foot, making sure that you're pulling in your core, thinking, taking responsibility for your exercise, for your actions. My friends, sometimes that feels hard. Sometimes we'd rather not. Am I right? Me too. Absolutely. But when you do, gently, lovingly, kindly, with love for yourself, instead of with some kind of an eye to beating yourself up for things that you have done. My friends, we are done, but we're not quite finished. Let's go ahead and walk. One more time, I've got a built-in finisher for us. We're walking right here. And then our last exercise, one of my absolute favorites. Speaking of, I gave myself a real treat with this workout. A little bit of balance work that's actually still kind of cardio-y. We're doing tiptoe ski jumps, even though we're not jumping. So we're going to swing our hands back, do a little bit of a squiddy squat, basically just push your butt back behind you. As we come up, rather than jumping, you're going to come up on your tiptoes. It's going to be up to you to hang on to that for as long or as little as you like. For me, I'm guessing I wouldn't even count it as a full second. Tiptoe work is still something that's tough for me, so I like to practice it in very small doses. We're doing one interval of those tiptoe ski jumps, and then we will be better than done. We will be finished. My friends, what do you think about your track? What do you think about the track that you are on? If you are always, here we go with tiptoe ski jumps, if you are always on track and this is your one glorious, beautiful track, wouldn't you love to think nice things about it? Wouldn't you love to think that you are doing great things with your track? There is nothing out there that there is some kind of standard to meet that you have to be considered on track or doing it right. You get to think anything you want about your track. And right now, whew, doggies, I'm thinking that was a fantastic workout. Let's cool this down with some nice arm circles, just kind of stepping from side to side. Again, have you ever noticed that we are still doing balance work even when we're cooling down? That little bit of a step side to side. We're practicing that lateral motion, stepping on one foot, tapping with the other one. You guys, I am always thinking about your future. You are always on track for a glorious time ahead of you. Independence, being your healthy weight, feeling amazing, knowing which thoughts are moving you forward and which thoughts are slowing you down. Some of your thoughts are very helpful for getting where you want to go. And some of them, not so much. And you have a compass inside your body, your feelings, that tell you which one is which. Let's go ahead and open it up. Oh my goodness, what a beautiful stretch. And then close it up and give yourself a nice big hug and a pat on your sweaty back. Oh my goodness, not only are you always on track, but you always do such a great job. Thank you so much for working out with me. This is number 61 of 65. We are coming to a close of this year's 65 workout series, and I am so excited for our last 5 days together, my friends. Thank you so much for working out with me. Make sure you click that subscribe button before you go, and I'll see you tomorrow.